Steam is widely considered to be the best platform for PC games. As an avid Steam enjoyer and local peasant myself, I've always been on the lookout for seasonal sales, so I can buy games I'll put down after 2 hours and never pick up again. However, what's even more enticing are games that are free to keep. And I don't mean the ones you get on the 7 Seas. I mean like when Valve gave away the original Half-Life for its 25th anniversary, and more recently, when Landfall gave away Content Warning, which is really fun by the way. Ma'am, do you have anything to say? Whoa! Getting a paid game for free is a great feeling. That is to say, when it's every once in a while. If you were to receive 1 or even 2 random games, let's say every week, you'd probably have a whole stack of games collecting dust. And wouldn't you know it, I've got a whole library of 100 unplayed games just sitting right here. But these are on another platform. Yup, I'm talking about... If you're not familiar with the Epic Games Store, you might know Epic Games from its flagship title, Jill of the Jungle. On Steam, giveaways are pretty uncommon and only happen on special occasions, whereas Epic's Free Now section is the gaming store equivalent of Mr. Beast.
I'm gonna give away all these games.
And because of that, I've never had to spend a single penny on Epic. Then again, I've only played, about 14% of them. So I thought, why not try a few of them out to see if they're actually worth playing any further. To choose from the multitude of games in my library, I made the Wheel of Epic Games that I've yet to play. Without further ado, let's spin. First one up is MORDHAU. Okay, so I'm gonna have to come clean with this one. I have played it before. But that was years ago, and I didn't even get past level 1. Because it had a huge Kickstarter campaign and a lot of videos made on it, I'm sure most of you have already heard or even played this game before, but for those who haven't, MORDHAU is a first-person battle simulator created by small indie studio Triturnian in 2019, the last year it was relevant. It's set in medieval times, and somewhere in the UK.
I customized my rifle like it's 1862.
I started by learning the mechanics through this very cool tutorial. After that, I created my character, Timothy III.
What's up? It's Johnny Sins.
Now, it was time to queue for a 48-player battle. I figured because the game had a lower player count and I was playing at 3 AM, it would be a while till I found a match. But I was wrong. There were a good amount of players still online. So in I went midway through a battle. Basically, the blue team, which is us, has to make their way past the defenses of the red team and get to the end to win. After giving Timothy some head protection, I was feeling pretty confident and went full bare fist. So that went about as well as you would think. Oh, geez. Okay. Alright, well, there's Timothy III. I decided it would be best to switch to a default character with a weapon this time. I got my first taste of blood. Yes, I got one! And while cathartic at first, I was having second thoughts. You see, I spotted an enemy on the other team. We locked eyes for a brief moment, as if asking each other, why are we doing this? What's the point in all this bloodshed? Refusing to attack each other, we finally created peace between our clans. I'm sorry. Pushing through the rest of their defenses, we reached the last stage, the Red Team Commander. Oh! I did damage to him! Yes! Oh! Many precise and totally accurate swings later. Yes, we did it! Let's go! We beat the commander and ended the battle victorious. If you're enjoying the video so far, why not jab that like button? Also, we're almost at 1,000 subs, so subscribe for more epic content. See what I did there? Because we're doing epic game. Okay, back to the video. Once I was done with that, I tried the PvE game mode, where I had to fight through hordes of enemies while protecting this absolute unit of a man. After each round, you get some time to purchase weapons and upgrade your skills. I didn't know how to do that, so naturally, I got annihilated. Okay, epic. Luckily, it's co-op, so I met a nice player showing me the ropes. We died after 7 rounds. So I decided to go back to the war, where I somehow did even worse than my first time. We slowly pushed our cart forward and entered their village, where my team destroyed their houses and crops. Oh, and I definitely helped too. After breaching their castle's defenses, we got distracted by all the hogs and ran out of time. What can I say? I had an absolute blast playing this one, but with a lack of player base and a really high skill ceiling, I can't really see myself playing this for too long. With that being said, I'm putting this in B tier, for boy did I die a lot. Alright, I think it's time to move on to the next game. Let's spin the wheel and see what we get. Kao the Kangaroo. So apparently it's not pronounced cow, it's actually K-O. Oh, I see what they did there. Kao the Kangaroo is a 3D platformer collectathon released in 2022 and made by Tate. It's essentially a remake of the original released back on the Dreamcast in the year 2000. Yep, definitely stands out from all the other animal characters from that time. Speaking of which, this game follows in the footsteps of Spyro the Reignited trilogy with that child-friendly style with saturated colors. The animation and art direction are very pleasant to look at, especially with the varied set pieces and enemies. You can even customize your character with different outfits and use the player model from the 2003 version. However, if we're talking about the characters themselves, their dialogue is,
I'm Kao. I came here to kick your butt and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
Wait, what have you done?
That was cracking.
Please stop.
If I left it for 5 minutes, someone's going to take an arrow to the knee and...
I understand this was made by Polish developers, but I can't be alone in thinking these Australian animals could have been voiced by, well, Australians.
Finally, send a text.
I mean, just look at a game like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
G'day, mate.
Or at the very least, just go full-on Banjo-Kazooie and have them make noises. It just sounds so bored. Oh, there we go, that's better. Okay, alright, I take it back. Voice acting aside, the goal of the game is to find enough of these runes to unlock the crystal gates and eventually find Kaya, who we see getting captured in Kao's dream. While the game is very linear, they introduce some cool concepts like the Eternal World, a pocket dimension where hidden objects become visible after smacking these purple crystals.
In the eternal world, you are alone. I cannot enter.
You're literally in it right now. Speaking of smacking things, the combat is actually pretty satisfying, especially when you fill up your finisher and unleash it on a group of enemies. There's also a fire power-up, where you can throw flaming boomerangs that auto-aim for you, but the auto-attack mechanic isn't always accurate. I didn't mean to punch the crab, I was trying to get the chest. No, stop! Overall, the controls are pretty responsive, until you accidentally get soft-locked. Oh no, I'm stuck. No, help! Help! Once finishing all the areas, including a very easy boss level, you'll move on to another island with monkeys. This is where you meet...
what the Sigma?
They introduced a few more mechanics like Kao using his ears to hang on monkey bars, also some platforming sections that I kinda cheated. And that's as far as I got. It's pretty entertaining for what it is, but I've seen this formula done better. Still, it's a cool callback to the N64 and PS1 era, but definitely one of the 3D platformers of all time. C tier. Alright, back to the wheel. We got one more spin. Last on the board is... The Fall. Interestingly, this was also a Kickstarter campaign, developed by Over the Moon and released in 2014. It's a side-scroller that takes its inspirations from the likes of Metroid for its sci-fi elements, Limbo for its tone and atmosphere, and Secrets of Monkey Island for its use of puzzles. Honestly, the visuals and animations didn't look too appealing to me at first, but after playing it, I didn't really mind it. Mostly, I was pleasantly surprised by its great story and amazing voice acting. Oh, and there's also some gameplay somewhere in there. We start off with the intro scene from Halo 3 for some reason, and have our main character crash land deep into a cave on an alien planet. You play as Arid, an AI controlling the suit of an unconscious soldier in critical condition. Her memories and abilities are corrupted, but the AI's protocol, still intact, dictates, save our pilot. Pretty straightforward and perfectly sets up this mystery of, where are we? Where did we come from? And why is the cover mechanic so janky? Well, unfortunately, that last one stays a mystery. But by exploring our surroundings and meeting other characters, we do learn that this was once a thriving facility, now abandoned and decrepit. But the crucifixions and decayed bodies we find indicate, yeah, it's probably fine. After finding a working gun, we run into the locals, who show us their hometown greeting.
My intentions are peaceful. What is your
Target not complying.
Oh, what the it wouldn't let me... I can't shoot. Oh, I have to charge it. The combat, while challenging at times, more because of the controls than the difficulty, is very simple. Hide behind cover and shoot the robots. Once I unlocked the stealth mechanic, however, I rarely ever needed to go behind cover as the AI just stood there waiting for me. They do sort of nerf it later on when they introduce the electrified AI, which, even when invisible, insta-kills you on contact. Luckily, our gun gets upgraded to semi-automatic, which becomes a pretty big game changer. However, beyond the enemy AI, you'll also face something even more terrifying. The fast camera pans. Makes me dizzy. The game would make up for that by introducing the best character in the game, the Administrator.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Oh, fucking leave.
The admin, Hank, is a docile AI that has been holed up in this facility for quite a while and use that time to be able to mimic human grammar, mannerisms, and emotions.
Sweet!
Which, when paired with Arid, who is struggling to fight against its own code, makes for some great character moments.
Efficiently. I used to sound like you.
Perhaps your vocal matrix requires maintenance.
Thank you for the recommendation. Internal scan initiated. No. Internal scan aborted.
We still need to save our human and get to the surface. However, the caretaker, a powerful AI who is basically the nanny of all those hostiles, believes we are faulty and should have our privileges taken away. The admin suggests instead that we go through a series of 8 tests to reprogram us into a domestic droid, which would normally factory reset us and wipe all of our memories. The caretaker plays along and lets us through. When arriving at the testing area, we learn that these tests are designed for us to cheat the system.
Source of sufficient protein detected.
But our protocol dictates that we can't lie. So we have to use the objects, logs, and terminals we find to figure out clever workarounds. Oh, wait, actually. Yeah. I won't know.
No dust detected.
Some of those objects are hard to notice and are hidden well within the darkness. However, for some tests, I needed to mess with the environment around me and think outside the box. I'm just carrying it. We made it.
Woman escorted across the street.
While other tests had me utilize previously completed ones to solve them.
Come give me a push. Give her a go now, sir.
Child satisfied.
Further in the facility, we find a roadblock preventing us from completing our last task, a floor that was completely flooded. After discovering a whole station of robots that were ready to ship, the administrator suggests their power could be rerouted to drain the water, which would allow us to access the main terminal and reach the surface. However, this would end their stasis, terminating all of them permanently. But it's the only way we could potentially save our pilot. I found this to be some of the more compelling bits, as Arid and the administrator technically don't have any emotions, yet it feels like they're having a genuine dilemma over their own AI kind. We reluctantly choose to press the button, and going down another floor, we eventually come across another roadblock, the Queen Slug. Oh yeah, so besides the hostile robots, another hive mind you encounter are the slugs, which after feeding on toxic mushrooms have a defense mechanism that releases an acidic gas. However, they're afraid of light, and unless you just stand still next to them, they're pretty harmless. That is, until we mess with some chemicals that change their color. Luckily, we learned that using 2 chemicals together creates a volatile reaction of light, and when fused with their queen, we finally reach the main terminal that the admin can access to give our pilot aid. We go into the console, only to find the caretaker. Throughout all of our tests, he had been watching us very carefully, but now takes the opportunity to yoink our life support. Then, while trying to save us, the administrator is deemed faulty too, allowing the caretaker to reboot him to system default. We land a shot on him, but he escapes, not without leaving a very blue trail behind. Basically, we have a boss fight with the caretaker, who for some reason, even after I beat it, has a clone just sitting up in the rafters. After going back and finishing the last test, I get softlocked again. Oh. Why did I... No, please, not again. Regardless, I get to the end of the game, which, spoilers, we reach the medical area we need, only to find out...
Oops, I'm sorry. There is no human present within the combat suit.
There was never any pilot in the first place. All this time, Arid had justified her actions through the pretense that she was doing it to save the human inside the suit.
My pilot. My pilot. My pilot. My pilot. Save my pilot.
But now, as she's taken away, she utters the phrase,
Nothing binds me.
While this was a sad ending, it's also one that feels incomplete, as we see Arid is still alive and has now gone full deviant. So it absolutely makes sense that they put out a sequel to continue directly after this point. While I think the story and characters are the stars of this game, the puzzles also feel clever and rewarding at times.
Validated.
But I could live without the combat. B tier. Overall, I really enjoyed trying out some games that I otherwise would never have played if not for Epic giving them away. I definitely expected some of these to be truly bottom of the barrel stuff, but I'm glad that they were well crafted and actually fun titles. While I had plenty of grievances, they each provided me with experiences that I won't soon forget. So who knows? I might come back to my Epic Games library and check out some more. Hint hint. Anyway, for those who've made it this far, really appreciate the support and hope you all stick around for the long haul. I know this video was slightly different from what I normally make, but I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you have a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious day, because I have nothing else to say except, thanks for watching.